Okay, this is number 24 on page 476. 24 says, to map a figure A to a similar figure B, first A is mapped to A prime by a dilation of xy mapped onto 5/3 x, 5/3 y. And then A prime is mapped to B by a translation of xy mapped onto x minus 2y plus 1. The vertices of A prime are W, X, Y, and Z. And then we want to go actually find the vertices of A and then B. So I'm going to write a couple things out. So my first one of XY mapped the dilation here, 5/3 X, 5/3 Y. Oops. Let me back up here. 5/3 X and 5/3 Y. That is taking A and mapping it to A prime. Okay? And then the translation, which is XY, mapped onto X minus 2. So every X we're subtracting 2, and then Y plus 1. Every Y we add 1. That is going to take A prime and then map it onto B. Okay, so the question is giving us A prime. So it is giving us the result after A and then my starting point to get to B. So I have here A prime is sitting here at -10, 0. X, oh, hang on, let me back up. That's not, A prime is this one. So let me back up here. A prime, W, though, is sitting at -10, 0. X is -5, 10. Y is at 5, 10, and then Z -5, 0. Okay, so my job is to take, I have the middle coordinates. I need to go backwards a step with my 5/3 dilation and then go forwards a step with the translation. So if I were to, just hypothetically speaking, let's say I was given, let's say we were given A. We were given the ordered pair of 10, 0. If I were trying to dilate this by a factor of 5/3, I would take 10 and I would multiply by my scale factor, right? So if I went through the math there, that would give me 50/3. So the scenario I really have now is I am given the result after I have multiplied by 5/3. So in order to go backwards, I want to do the opposite. I don't want to multiply by 5/3. I want to divide by 5/3. And when we divide fractions, we don't really divide fractions, we actually multiply by reciprocals. So I need to multiply everything by 3/5. Okay? So in order to go backwards to A, I'm going to have to multiply by 3/5. So let me get rid of some of this so I can work a little bit better. So once you've made that connection, now it's just a matter of going through the math behind it. So I'm going to, let me recopy this over here, I'm going to actually multiply by 3/5. So let me get rid of that. So I want to figure out what, let's see, what are the ordered, does it tell me what the ordered pairs are? I guess I'm just going to call it A. So I need to take -10. I'm going to do a little work over here. Let me make this a little bit smaller here. Okay, so I'm going to take -10/1 and multiply by 3/5. And let me show you a trick if you don't already do this. When you multiply fractions, you want to cross-reduce on the diagonal. So 5 goes into 5 once, into -10, -2. So when I do -2 times 3 here, I end up with -6/1. So I know in my ordered pair I get -6. Of course, 0 stays to be a 0. My next ordered pair, I'm going to take -5/1 and multiply by 3/5. And you can see here that these 5s are going to end up canceling and I'm left with the -1 there. So when I multiply -1 here by 3, then I end up with -3. So in my ordered pair I have -3. Well, I already did 10 right here, and if I got a -6, then I know I'm just going to get a +6. Okay? Positive 5, well, if I got a negative 3 the first time, I'll get a positive 3. I already got a 6 for 10. And then to get negative 5, I already did that one. I got negative 3. So let me get rid of some of this over here. Okay, oops, hang on a second. So I'm going to, can't quite erase. So let me just squeeze this in here. I got negative 3, 0. Okay, so there's A. I now need to apply my this translation right here. So now that I need to go back to A prime, because remember, A prime is going to be. So I'm just going to take every X and take away 2, and then every Y, and add 1. So that would give me, for all the B's, that's going to be, remember I'm looking here at this row right here. So that's going to be negative 10 minus 2 is negative 12. And then 0 plus 1 is 1. Negative 5 right here minus 2. Negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7. 10 plus 1, 11. Positive 5 minus 2 is 3. And then I've got 10 plus 1, 11. And then negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7. 0 plus 1 is 1. So that is my solution for number 24.